It would help if I put up my camera. Hey, my friends, this is Andy Falco Jimenez. And again, excuse this weird light that for only like 2 minutes of the day, and it happens to be right now, shines through an upper window up there that I can't reach and put something up there. So with that professionalism out of the way, my name again is Andy Falco Jimenez. I'm coming to you live from Orange County, California, Yorba Linda to be exact, and a parent of children who go to El Dorado, Tuffrey, Golden in the Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District. I'm actually more or less, I'm gonna talk for a few minutes because I'm gonna bring down my temperature just a bit, because I've been talking about this for 2 years, and I've shared information to the district. I've spoke at school board meetings, and now with the campaign coming up with two amazing candidates in Todd Frazier and Rich Engel. There may be a feeling amongst people that aren't aware of what's going on in our schools, or they blindly follow a political party and believe everything they're told. They don't, check resources. They don't go to websites. They don't talk to people that have actually dug deep into what is happening in our school district, and they simply want to follow what it is that a small number of people are telling them. For instance, I mean, just an example is for me, whenever I speak, I've been called racist, I've been called homophobic, I've been called an ignorant douche lord or king of the ignorant douche lords, and a bunch of things. And that's from people that when I have been able to either approach them or talk to them, ask them, okay, where is it that you get that idea from? What is it that you say? Well, you said that. I said, okay, well, why has that caused me to be this thing that you are claiming? Or anytime that I've asked for research studies or any documentation from the school district or school board members, certain school board members, or from even the county's board of supervisors or board of education, when it comes to certain stances that they take, I ask, okay, show me why I need to understand that that's important for our kids. And in every case, I can say, because I wanted to almost like, I hate to say never and always, because it's never true. But so in this case, it's true. I've never received anything to combat my position or the studies and research that I have given to them. Nothing like that ever happens. And so today I've received further information of what I am speaking of and what I've been interviewing candidates over the last couple weeks, that what we are talking about is true. What we are talking about is dangerous to our children, physically and mentally. And it is dangerous for the families that we have in this community and across California and across the United States. So I'm simulcasting on a page called the California Parent Alliance. I'm also broadcasting on the Vote, PYL Vote Facebook page. I'm also on YouTube and Twitter and Rumble. And I believe that if those of you who are following a political party that so far has been ignoring what it is I'm about to show you and tell you, that I'm asking you to click on the links in the description, follow along with what it is that I am telling you. And you don't have to necessarily believe what I'm telling you and showing you proof of. That I want you to go through it and really begin to think, do elementary school age children need to know about sexual positions, need to be taught about why somebody cut off their penis, or that because on one day they believe that, you know what, I'm going to pretend I'm this thing, and it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if they're a boy and they simply want to pretend they're the girl. They can come wanting to pretend that they are an astronaut, a pirate, an army man, a Marine. But why is it necessary? And I'm asking this as a real question to those of you that seem to think it's okay. Why is it okay for a 6-year-old or 8-year-old or even a 13-year-old to on a day say, you know, I want to pretend I'm a dog, and somebody that is a trusted professional or a trusted adult that we tell children have in the past, I don't any longer tell children that, hey, you need to trust your teacher, you need to trust a police officer, you need to trust what have you. And those are the people you go to for help. No longer is it just a blanket statement across all teachers, because many teachers are fantastic and amazing, and I love them. I have friends that are teachers and they are fantastic. But you can't give a blanket statement that you can just go to any teacher now and say that's a trusted adult that you can go to, because they will go along with them. Okay, then today and maybe forever, and I'm going to take you to have some surgery that will make you a pirate, that will make you a dog, that will make you from a girl to a boy, or a boy to the girl. And you know what? We don't have to tell your parents. I want to know, even those of you that follow an opposite political party than I, or are not in a faith-based religion, why even then you still think it's okay. Those of you that are atheists, that's perfectly fine. I have friends that are atheists that I love to death. I just want to understand why you think that these things are okay. That at the age of I think what I've seen as young as 12, of what I'm understanding, that a teacher has the ability, and I think even based on current California state statute, must take them to a doctor to talk about gender, or I guess a gender. For some reason, I'm struggling with the name of it. They call it gender altering narcotics or drugs, or gender altering surgeries and procedures, and not tell a parent. Why that's okay to do that without telling a parent. I don't care that it's state law. I'm a law enforcement officer for 21 years. I'm still in law, and I still am responsible for looking into, as an expert witness, into criminal investigations, that I say, screw the law if that's the law, because the law telling a teacher that they can do something without telling me. I just got stopped by a parent at 24-Hour Fitness, and you can see why I had to calm down, because you can imagine what I was like before. Is that I was talked by a teacher that said, or a parent who said, a teacher disciplined their children by giving them a detention, and the policy is not to tell the parent in the school here in the Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School. That's what I was told by a parent. Now, I've not been able to follow up and get further details, as Leandra Blades, who is a school board member trustee that I talked to yesterday. We don't have all the facts, but I have no reason not to believe that parent. As a parent, I've been told by my son and several other parents that are in the same class as my son that every child failed a math test in a class, because before that I was being told that the teacher doesn't teach math. She just hands out the papers that they're supposed to use as homework, but does no teaching. And because every student failed, she didn't say, wow, what did I do wrong in teaching these kids? She instead lowered the grade so that everybody passed. Ridiculous notion. It's as ridiculous as changing the time to report to school to a later time because they think it's going to give teenagers more time to sleep. That is the most. It's almost as crazy as these other things I'm going to tell you. All right, so I want to go into a couple things, and I want to lay out a foundation, kind of like I did with my interview with Leandra yesterday, and I hope it makes sense, because I want to lay out a foundation first to show you why it is I'm really urging you to understand that if we have two candidates, which is Carrie Buck and Karen Freeman. I wish they had two different last names. Carrie Buck and Karen Freeman, why they so strongly not only support the teachers unions, but the teachers unions strongly support them. That there's no divide. That if you're voting for Carrie Buck and Karen Freeman, that you're voting for the teachers unions. And you're saying, Andy, why do the teachers unions are just simply labor unions that care about the teachers and how much they get paid and how many days off they get a year, and are they being sexually harassed, and the union is just for that. Well, you would have thought, but not in this case. This is really important for you to understand, that this tie between these two candidates is harmful and has been harmful for our children for an extremely long time, physically and mentally. And there's been very little, if anything, done to encourage proper education. This goes for some of the superintendents too, so I'm not leaving them out, but they are not up for election right now or ever. But Carrie Buck and Karen Freeman are. And this tie that they have with the teachers union, because I'm going to tell you why the teachers union is there. It'd be just like what they tried to claim, which is untrue of many candidates, that they try to say that, I'm not going to give a name because it's just going to derail this show, is that they'll say a candidate for assemblyman, let's say, is a member of the Nazi party. That is not good. I would not vote for any candidate, Republican, independent, Democrat, if I also saw that they were a member of the Communist Party. Now, many people throw out that I'm a communist, or they'll say I'm a Nazi, or I'm a radical MAGA follower, and they try to use these names in a way that is derogatory. But in some cases, I am very strongly for a strong America. If that makes me MAGA, then that's the thing that makes me MAGA, or MAGA, or however you say it. See, I don't even know how to say it. But I'm not a member of the Communist Party. I'm not a Nazi. I'm not a white supremacist. I'm none of those things. I'm not a homophobic, whatever that club would be. I don't know if there is a club for a homophobic, but they will try to make you out to be that thing. But when somebody is actually even saying, yes, I am a member of the teachers union, and I'm happy about it. I have teachers that I love that are in the teachers union, not because they love it, because I think in some cases they feel like they must. And if they're not, they will be ridiculed, and they will be harassed, and they will be looked at negatively. And some people, some teachers have a weak enough character, I'm going to say, that is more important than them getting out of the teachers union. And I'm sad. That doesn't make me not like them as friends or care about them or love them as my child's teacher. But why not get out of the teachers union? Why stay in that? I have friends that I've called out all the time that they won't get on and say, this is horrible what was happening. And they won't do it because they're afraid of losing their job, or they're afraid of losing a friend, or they're afraid of losing a family member. I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense to me. But that doesn't make them not my friend. So if you are going to, and so I'm going to have a but that I want to put in there. But if you are a member of the teacher and you get up and you say things like these teachers do right now, I have questions about what it is that they are doing as teachers in the classroom where nobody can see what they're doing. So I played these videos before in other broadcasts. I'm not going to play the whole thing, just the parts that are important. These are all teachers in the Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District. And I'm going to play what it is they say about how they feel about the teachers union. So let's listen to this first one.
And then I'm going to talk a little bit about Apple, which, by the way, I am an Apple rep, and they never actually ever tell us that you hate teachers, so that's not anything that goes on there. And the other thing that people seem very confused about with unions and Apple members, that all the teachers are Apple members. We are Apple. So when you say that Apple is bad, really what you're saying is that all of the teachers in this that are members of Apple, we're bad. We're all bad people and doing bad things. And we're not. We're good people. We want what's best for children. We're not doing this job.
So that is a lie. Not every teacher at Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District is a member of Apple, which is the teachers union, the local teachers union, which is also part of the CTA, the California Teachers Association, And the National Educators Association is the largest teachers union. That's a federal. It's a national teachers union. They all support one another. And I will bring again the proof to show you that this is the case. I'm not just making it up. I'm not just trying to be hyperbolic. I'm telling you, all these unions are connected and support one another and pull information that they use in the classroom, both out in the open and secretly. And again, I will show you that they teach teachers in these unions how to be secretive and do these things without parents' knowledge to indoctrinate our children with ideas that are not part of our ideals as parents, and even yours, whether you're a Democrat or independent or Republican. All right, here's the next teacher.
Additionally, you cannot be for teachers, but against the union, which 92% of our teachers are a part of, especially during a teacher shortage, fueled by a lack of support.
That is a lie. There is no teachers shortage here at the Placentia Yorba Linda School District, as far as I've been able to find out. If there was a shortage, it would be easy to find out. There's a lack of students in the Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District because we've had a decline in attendance, a decline, which means less than in the past. And this has been happening, as Carrie Buck says so boldly on her campaign, happening for years. Understanding that Leander Blades and Sean Youngblood have only been on the board for 2 years, I believe, maybe a little bit longer, but I think it's two years plus. But this has been happening for years prior to them being on. So why has there been a decline? Because a lack of education. The education is poor and has been poor for a very long time. All right, last teacher I'm going to bring up.
Finally, I would like to thank Linda Mannion, who has a heart of gold. Our union is made of devoted teachers who are part of this community. Thank you for supporting our families by supporting our teachers. I am lucky to be a teacher in this community, as well as a parent with kids at our award-winning schools.
They haven't won an award in a very long time. I mean, they won a few little minor awards, but come on. But again, so I just wanted to lay out that we have these three teachers who get up in the school board and support a teachers union that is about, what I'm about to show you is going to, it is not going to shock a lot of you that have been following it for a long time, but maybe some of you that are watching this by mistake, or somebody said, hey, you might want to watch this. I don't know why, some of you may be coming across this, and maybe you're coming across this information for the very first time. But my foundation laying is that you have Carrie Buck, Karen Freeman, who are endorsed by the teachers union. Here is their, one of the first things that you can find on one of their pages, that says, thank you, Apple, which is the teachers union. CSEA is another union, but that's a California Services. I forget what the name of it is. I have it pulled up somewhere, but it's another union for the employees in school districts. And you have these letters that are written out. I'm going to bring this up. Oops, hold on. Here we go. So this is that letter. This is a letter that is attached to those two separate letters regarding the individuals of Carrie Buck and Karen Freeman, that says that that calls for APLE members, which is Apple, to help out in the election. It says, today I'm asking for your support in reelecting Karen Freeman in Area 4 and Carrie Buck for Area 5. The entire culture and reputation of Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District is under attack for the last 2 years. Because we have parents who care about education. We have parents who want our kids not to be indoctrinated. We want our kids not to be taught sexual pornography, which is an oxymoron, but the pornography in our schools. That makes us radicals, or makes them under attack. And anyway, it goes on. And so here is a flyer and letters that go out to the APLE members. Now, I don't know that 90% is the number of teachers in the Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District, but do Todd Frazier and Rich Engel have the ability to send a letter out to all the teachers that work in the district to give them their point of view of what it is they're running on, of what they're going to bring to the district if they get elected? Do they have the ability, like the union does, to be able to reach out and say, our schools are under attack. By what? By parents who care. By people who want their children to go to school and to know that when they go to school, that they are not going to be taught things that interfere with the morality or the things that are supposed to be left to the parents to teach what's right and wrong about the birds and the bees, and about understanding that people come from different backgrounds and races and religious beliefs. That some and not, if not all of those things, need to be addressed by the parent and should be addressed by the parent. That I'm not sending my kids to school and say, I want you to know that I'm teaching you, my boy. I have 3 boys and I have 3 girls. My 3 boys, I'm teaching them to grow up to be masculine leaders in our community. I'm teaching my girls to be strong women that can do anything that they work hard for and become leaders in those industries, whether it's politics or military or law enforcement or fire department. And yet they can be feminine and they can be amazing leaders to other women, to show them how to not be taken advantage by men and boys when they go off to school, and what it is they need to know about waiting until they're married to have sex. That those are the things, and that it goes for my boys too, of course. That when they go to school, none of that is going to be undone. Or after now they come back and they go, oh, Dad, they told me about. Actually, let me put up a disclaimer because we're about to get into this area. And those of you that may be watching and you are doing it in the car while you're driving and you have the volume on, I want to make sure and do this. I just want you to know that explicit sexual content from this point on will be discussed, and parents usually must use discretion when playing the video or the audio, because some people just listen to the audio portion, which comes across sometimes on a podcast. So I want to make sure that you understand that explicit sexual content from this point on will be played, and I will be reading it out loud, and there's no way of doing it. And you know what is shocking? We've seen this before where parents have gone before school board and simply read a textbook or a book that's being suggested by a teacher. And the people go, and the school board and the district says, stop reading it. That is sexual. That's too explicit. The parents reading something that a teacher has given the student in the classroom. And you're saying if it cannot be read in a board meeting, a school board meeting, if it can't be read in front of a bunch of adults, why, I ask, is it being allowed to be read or given to a student under 18? Why? Again, I was an Anaheim police officer, 21 years. I was a sex crimes detective, and I can tell you that I prosecuted adults who gave pornography to children and put them away and put them into prison. I have a case where a sexual predator who had been released, who was driving by a school in Anaheim, looked at a child that was under 18 and parked this car, and then looked at a child that was walking on the sidewalk and went like this to the child. Somebody witnessed it, called in the plate. Law enforcement in patrol stopped the vehicle. They contacted me and said, we have this person stopped. He was seen doing this to a child near a school, not on the school, near a school. And I said, hook him up, bring him to jail, fingerprint him, and I will interview him. I interviewed him. He confessed to doing this to a child near a school that he was not supposed to be near. And he went on to do 15 years in prison for doing this. And now we're going to be doing so much worse in our schools. Teachers are doing worse in our schools. Teachers unions are encouraging teachers to do far worse than this to a child. They are handing out pornography, and they are encouraging children to take part in sexual debauchery. That, again, if a parent wants to teach a child about fisting, they can teach their child about fisting. I could care less. But I'm not sending my student to school to be taught how to fist in elementary school, in middle school, or in high school. Now you're going to say, well, they learn it from TikTok. Well, that's why we take away social media. Well, they're learning it from their friends. Well, that's why I talk to them about the types of friends they hang around with. That is my job as a parent. You can't come back to me. My kids come back to me with that kind of stuff. They say, well, Dad, you know that blah, blah, blah. And I said, I know. But my job is to teach you that change friends, soar with eagles, or walk around with a bunch of turkeys. Don't watch certain social media. Let me put some parental blockers on there. Let me be aware of what it is you're doing on your computer. Let me be aware of what's doing. I'll put locks and blocks on there. And again, do they work around them? Yes, but my job still stands. That doesn't mean I give up. I've been told to give up a couple times by people that are close. I don't give up. So let's discuss this one more time. I'm going to put this up just in case you're just now joining us. And this explicit sexual content will be discussed. Parents use discretion when playing this video and or audio. Why do I put that up? Because I care about what it is that your child. Apparently, teachers unions do not care. So this morning I was given some information that the teachers unions have this website that they use. And the National Educators Association, which is the national, which what's her name? Randy Weingarten is, I believe, in charge of. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that she's the one who's in charge of the NEA. Let me just look that up as I'm talking here about that. I just want to make sure I was so busy looking at the website, I didn't check on and make sure. No, she's the president of the American Federation of Teachers, which is another national teachers union, which and of course also does support this. We know this because we've heard her talk about it, and some other nonsense that she's for. But the NEA, the National Educators Association, is a overling or a top organization that the California Teachers Association supports. The APLE, which is the Association of Placentia Linda Educators, which is our local teachers union, is a member of the California Teachers Association. So these are all interconnected. You can't say that because you're of one that you have no association. No, they clearly have a connection between each one of them. All right. So I was given this website. This is their website. This is the union's website that I'm going to bring up on the page right now. And this is, you see right there where it says the NEA, Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, Queer Caucus. And look at that little Apple logo right there, which looks a lot like the APLE logo. And then if I scroll down, you'll see right here why this is connected. You see right here, and I'm not sure if my mouse is showing up or not, but I'm going to, yeah, there it is. You see where I'm hovering over there? In partnership with the NEA members benefit, the CETA members benefit, and the standard, which I'm not aware of. Let me click on that and see where it goes. I got so excited I didn't. The standard as CTA. This is just another wing of the NEA, or I'm sorry, the CTA. The standard. I'm not sure. We'll have to look further into that, but that's not important right now. But these are connected. And then again, the APLE is associated with the CTA. There's no disconnection there. And so this is their website. As you can see, it's all about lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer caucus. And it talks about what it is that you need to know about these subject matters. On the right, you can see right here, it goes through how they are going to indoctrinate children. And here is how you do it. And that's by clicking on any of these links, and it'll take you to all these areas. Now, there's clearly not enough time. I want you to click on the link, which is in the description of this video, and I want you to go through these things and actually look for through all of them, if you will. They throw in something like homelessness to kind of, well, let's look at we're doing good things, and bullying. We're doing good things, but it goes, of course, horribly wrong when it goes into these other areas. That you may or may not be aware of. All right. So one of the articles that you can go through, and here it is through the resources. If you go through resources, you will begin to find a number of what it is that they are hoping that teachers will use to be able to indoctrinate your children without you knowing, and telling them information that is most likely against what it is that you teach at home. Most likely going to be contrary to your beliefs, to your standards, to what it is that you believe is your responsibility to teach. And they're going to be undoing all of what you should be doing if you're not. And that is talking to your children about some of the things that are out in the world that they were going to come across, some of the challenges, some of the maybe things that they're going to see on the social media that you have not been able to block, or that's something that one of their friends may tell them about. You see what I'm saying? But not, I mean, it's so weird and so demonic. And I'm sorry to use that word because I know it drives people crazy because it comes off as a religious thing, but it is evil. How about that? For us to even have thought, nobody would have ever thought. A parent would have, I'm going to send my kid to school, and the teacher is then going to teach my 7-year-old or 8-year-old about fisting. Like that would never would have been a thought. But that's happening. Maybe not with the teacher that your students currently has, but it is happening in California. It is happening in our school district because we have had parents who have told us so. We even have teachers on video admitting that they do this. So how do I know this to be true from the teachers unions? And that is because of this page that you will find on here. And that is a reference that they give on this website to how to organize like a sex worker, learning from worker and organizer Kate Adamo. And it says here, and in the book, you will learn, and I'm just going to read 2 paragraphs. It should be enough for me to read these 2 paragraphs. But the political landscape around so many fundamental rights is what they're calling it, which it's not, is changing for the worse. Whether you're trying to access abortion care, immigration rights, or gender affirming care, who ever heard of such a thing? Chances are you're going to face necessary and intentional hurdles. What's more, the increasing criminalization of healthcare, what I have no idea what they're talking about on that. I've never seen anybody arrested for good healthcare, means that patients and providers will have to navigate the risks of being caught up in our criminal justice system for doing something as simple as trying to access abortion. And then it gives you more information for that. The next paragraph, sex workers. Now, to get this is the kicker. Sex workers have long existed in legal gray areas. So they're suggesting that teachers need to live in legal gray areas, figuring out how to make a living, stay safe, and avoid liability wherever possible. Now, let me just get this straight. That they want teachers to understand that they are much like prostitutes and whores. That you need to live in the darkness. You don't have to live in the darkness if you're teaching math. If you're teaching kids how to write, how to read, how to think, there's no living in the darkness. Why suddenly is a teachers union giving instructions to teachers how to live in the gray area, how to live in the alleys in the darkness as a prostitute? Do you understand what it is I'm trying to bring? I know that some of the liberals and Democrats have turned this off thinking, oh, there we go. I'm showing you what it's on these teachers unions, the very teachers unions that Carrie Buck and Karen Freeman think are fantastic. And you have to wonder why. And the teachers unions are supporting these 2 candidates with sending out mailers to every teacher in the district. They have the ability to do that. Todd Frazier and Rich Engel do not have the ability to do that. Let me go on. I'm just going to start from the beginning because it's just really rich with information here. Sex workers have long existed in legal gray areas, figuring out how to make a living, staying safe, and avoid liability wherever it's possible. They also face stigma, judgment, and pushback from both the Christian right and sex work exclusionary feminists, SWERFs. Whoever heard of a SWERF on the left? But progressive spaces would be wise to work together with sex workers. What? to brave this new world where accessing basic healthcare can land you in jail. To do so, though, you will have to accept that sex work is work, and that supporting and embracing sex workers is reproductive justice space, is just like supporting other workers. This is critical to ensure the reproductive and sexual liberation of everyone. I am telling you right now that my 9-year-old boy and my 11-year-old boy and my 14-year-old girl don't need sexual liberation. They need to be told why it's important to wait until they are married. That is not a religious, I know you think it's a religious thing, but it is extremely important to understand that if you don't have a commitment with your partner to raise a child, because it takes two parents to raise it, it takes a mom and a dad, a man and a woman to raise a little boy or a little girl. It takes that to raise them to where they have the highest success, highest chance for success, to not wind up in prison, to not wind up as a prostitute, to not wind up as an illiterate boob who can't get a job. Every study, whether it's in Yale or what have you, I know that you'll find some studies that say the opposite in some of these areas, but I'm telling you, a legitimate study done by anybody that has common sense and science and reasonableness and history and statistics behind them will show that a child who has two parents who stay together. Unfortunately, I was not so lucky that happened in my marriage, and I admit that, and I'm sad to say that happened. But I know for sure that it is better if marriages stay together, and for sure if they remain single, that it's much more difficult, and the chances of a child not ending up in prison is by the families to stay together. Statistically. So how it is that they believe that my children need to be ensured reproductive and sexual liberation, I have no idea. They should be taught that, hey, this is important. You may find yourself challenged and have an urge to go beyond just hugging and kissing in the hallway at school, that you will sneak off somewhere at the park, or you will sneak off to his or her car, or to the parents when they're not home, and you will find yourself in a position of being pressured or feeling that it's necessary to say yes when it's not. That they believe, the teachers' unions, in giving this information to teachers, that it's more important to tell them that they need to feel free and have liberation, that it's okay. They are not going to be the ones that are there when the child gets pregnant. And the boy says, I didn't like her that much. I just wanted to have sex. As a sex crimes detective at Anaheim Police Department, I can tell you how many times that a girl would claim rape. Now, I'm not going against the fact that there are rapes. I know there are rapes. I investigated over 500 of them a year at Anaheim Police Department, and there were 4 detectives who had the same caseload. Don't tell me that I don't know what a rape is, but I can also tell you that there were many young girls who now, because they were pregnant and got caught just after having sex, that they claimed that the boy raped them. How many challenges does that now bring because of this sexual liberation that they have encouraged? How much more is that going to happen? That either they got caught having sex, and now the girl feels like, well, in my sexual liberation, I thought it was okay, but he forced me to do it, and now there's a criminal case brought up against a young man whose life is now going to be ruined because the teacher said, well, you need to have sexual liberation. Not to mention that also a pregnancy can occur, and now the teacher's not going to be around to help raise that child. They're saying, well, just go get an abortion. Now, are you going to be around from the trauma and the the issues that are going to come up with that young girl now that she's going to be forced to have an abortion because she's been told by a teacher that it's okay, you can have an abortion now because of your sexual liberation that I just told you can have. Now you can just simply go out and have an abortion, and now she has to live the rest of the life that she took the life of a child, because at some point she's going to understand that she took the life of a baby. We know this happens through all the studies. And so the teachers unions pushing this guide on teachers to show them how to live in the darkness is what it says here. The political landscape around some fundamental rights changes for worse, whether, oh, no, sorry, wrong sentence. Sex workers have long existed in legal gray areas. In other words, living in the darkness. They're teaching teachers how to be prostitutes in the sense that they are living in the darkness and pushing sex on children. I'm sorry to spend so much time on this, but this is so important for you to understand as you're going into this election, understanding why parents are just so much against what it is the unions represent, because they're no longer just about making sure that a teacher is paid well and gets their days off and has the proper amount of sick days. They have come in and now they are pushing indoctrination and curriculum that goes against sound, good parenting. I want to bring up another portion of this website here. And for some reason, I'm not able to click on it like I should be able to, but hold on. Let me bring it up here so that we can all partake. This is the area where I probably need to bring up this disclaimer one more time, because I see people popping in and coming on that weren't on when I first did it. And that is this. Caution, explicit sexual content will be discussed. Parents use discretion when playing this video and or audio. I'm only simply going to be reading from the teachers union's website. And I'm giving you the caution that is necessary, because as a parent, I am telling you that, oh, sorry. I keep clicking on the wrong finger. I'm telling you that what I'm about to read you is on a teachers union, that they're encouraging teachers to give this to your child. And yet I have to put a caution up, because I even think that even Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or even Rumble, maybe, I'm not sure, will say, wow, that's really stuff that you shouldn't be saying that's not explicit, right? They have explicit tags for things so that children can't, should not be listening to it, to alert parents to it. But teachers are pushing stuff to give the teachers that is so explicit that I have to put up a notice saying that this is going to be explicit. So here we go. Bringing this up. This is a guide for teachers by the teachers unions that APLE, CTA, and the NEA all support. And this is for teachers. Queering sex ed. Sex acts that don't get enough play. What does it mean that they don't? It's just not talked about. They're not satisfied with a penis in the vagina. Standard sexual, God-given means of having intercourse. No, that's child's play, according to the teachers union. This is really what our kids need to learn about. This is so important that kids need to learn about it. Let me make this a little bit larger so you can see it. And I think I can get rid of this. I'm not sure. There we go. And so these sex acts don't get enough play. There are some sex acts, some kinds of sex that we hear a lot about. Other kinds of sex, particularly kinds of sex that queer or trans people might be interested in, don't get a lot of coverage. This recipe book is designed to give you more information about some of the sex acts that we don't think get enough play. Teachers, and this is a handout for kids. We've included a couple of blank recipe cards, children, which I should be referring to, not teachers, children. If there are other things you think should be added, because the kids, going to know more than this probably, or even if you come up with something that's sexy for you, remember, just like in cooking, it takes the time and practice to become a pro. It's okay to experiment with ingredients, change things up, and make a recipe of your own. Okay, let me get this straight. Sorry. This is a handout for kids. Did you hear what I just read you? These things that I'm about to read are dangerous. as a sex crimes detective, I'm sorry to keep bringing that up, but I just want to tell you that these are things that we were shown in detective school to understand, because some of these things are dangerous. They can cause people to die. They can cause people to get serious infections that will maim them for the rest of their life. These are things that they want your children to learn from teachers, from the teachers' unions that are supported by Carrie Buck and Karen Freeman, that are extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. And this handout that's going out to your children, if the union has anything to say about it, is simply calling it a cooking recipe. And if there's anything more that you think that you need to know as a child, let us know so that we can add it. Hey, when I had that fist stuck in me, it caused a fissure that I just can't seem to get away from. It caused a damage to my anus that has caused me that I cannot go to the bathroom any longer in the way that I'm supposed to. I think that needs to be added to this flyer, teacher. That's what it's asking. Or, hey, I found this where I put a bag over my head and hang myself from a rafter, which happens as a police officer. I've come across 3 websites, and my next door neighbor where I lived in Riverside, California, was found with a bag over his head, dressed like a woman, hanging, or actually he wasn't hanging, but he was sitting in a chair with a bag over his head, and he had suffocated to death. That's the kind of thing that they say, you know what? We're going to do auto asphyxiation because we think that it should be added on this flyer because it's fun. It's like a cooking recipe. Don't worry to the fact that you will suffocate with a bag over your head and be found by your neighbors wearing a dress, and he had an 11-year-old son, I think at the time, maybe 9-year-old son at the time. Your 9-year-old son will find you as you grow an adult and continue in this horrific sexual deviance that the teacher taught me. That was supported by the teachers union and Carrie Buck and Karen Freeman. So I digress. Let's go on. So right off the bat, let's start with the A's. We'll talk about anal sex, and it goes through some of the most important things you need to know about. As long as prep time and cooking time, because remember, this is a recipe. This is on the teachers union. I must remind you, if you're just joining me, as long as it may take longer than expected. Some days are not good for anal sex. What? Who knows this? And why would we know that? I don't want to know this. Get consent. That's good. At least they start with getting consent. That is spectacular. Make sure that the person being penetrated is relaxed. Use a lot of lube. Start slow, inserting one finger first and gradually build up to more fingers or penis or sex toy. Remember to ask for continued consent as you're sticking these things inside your partner. It doesn't say that, I added that part, but that's basically what it's saying. Go slow. It might take a while. So that means the teachers union wants you just to take your time with anal sex when you're sticking things other than a penis inside the anus. Bondage is a recipe for disaster, I'm telling you. Rope, ribbons, scarves, tape, belts, chains, a safe word, and clear boundaries. A shit ton of consent. A shit ton, it says, from a teacher that hands this out to your child, which is supported by the teachers unions, which is supporting Karen Freeman and Carrie Buck. Get consent. Good. Start simple with soft material and knots. Make sure that the ties don't cut off blood or to any body part of the body. Good. Handcuffs. See the handcuffs right there? See those handcuffs right there? Those cut off blood and body to the body parts. There's nothing you can do about it when you put handcuffs on somebody, but you have a picture of that teachers unions that are supported by Carrie Buck and Karen Freeman. Rimming. I wonder how much the Carrie Buck and Karen Freeman use this handout in their day-to-day life. You just got to wonder, because of course they support it. They think it's great. This union supporting them, they must obviously have looked through all this and made sure that it's something that's important for our children to get a hold of through their teachers. Rimming, which is the tongue on the bum. Oh, that's great. They use bum. They didn't use, in the other one, they use shit. But in this one, they use bum because, they just don't want to be gross. But it's the tongue on the bum. It's the shit ton of consent again. Well, that's important when you're on the bum. Domination, sadomasochism, playing with giving or receiving pain and humiliation and pleasure. Sadomasochism, sorry, I can't say that. Obviously, I don't partake in this because I don't say it enough. This includes what I'm telling you about in regard to auto asphyxiation. It includes this in this area. Again, I went to a school that I had to go to as a police officer, a detective that was in charge of investigating why people died during sadomasochism and auto asphyxiation and bondage. People die from this. You're going to put, and those are adults. And I've seen children that have died from them also. But I'm telling you that adults die from this. You're going to have a teachers union that is being endorsed and that is endorsing Karen Freeman and Karen Freeman and Carrie Buck, that are encouraging this PDF being handed out to children, that adults, that I was responsible just in the city of Anaheim for hundreds of incidents where people died, were maimed, and parts of their body would have to be removed because of the damage done from this type of sexual activity. That they're giving these handouts to teachers to give to children in our schools. The teachers unions that are in our schools. The good news is that they're telling children to get consent. That's good. And a shitload of consent, as it says right here, if you can see that. Sexting. Here is a doozy. One of the things that if you are the parent of a daughter and a son, that you have already, from the time, as soon as you hand them the phone, and I would guess, I want people to, nobody's commenting. Are you in shock? Are you afraid to comment? If you're watching this and you have the inclination and desire to either tell me that I'm full of crap. I'm reading this from the teachers union website that supports Carrie Buck and Karen Freeman. I'm reading this from their website. If you would please comment and let me know that you're getting this. Am I off the rails and telling you that if you have teachers that so lovingly embrace the teachers unions, that is giving this to the teachers so they can give it to our children, you think this is okay? That you're going to vote for them? Then you're off your rocker. But in giving our children phones, because we want to be able to get a hold of them. When do I pick you up from school? When do I pick you up from practice? Are you going to be hanging out with Judy today after school? Is Judy's mom going to be taking you from Starbucks back to school? All the things that we love the phones for, but we also understand that there is a strong responsibility that goes along with the phone in regard to what apps you put on the phone, and sexting being the foremost thing that you talk about your child about, and say, never participate in sexting. That is a no-go zone. That is simply, I don't care how free your family is, that if you haven't talked to your child about not sexting, you are a nut. You don't deserve to have a child, because this is the thing that will harm them for the rest of their life. Who cares? It just in the sense that, they're sharing a naked picture with their boyfriend. Who cares? I mean, I care, but I'm just telling you, that is the least of my worries. It is what happens to that picture after you send it to their boyfriend, after they've sent it to their boyfriend. Who do they send it to? Where does it go? We know where it goes. We know how it's going to affect them when they go to get their job. We know how it's going to affect them when they apply for a university or a college. And some of them, not all of them, some will go, oh, well, that's great. You can have, I'll give you a scholarship because there's a naked picture of you and you are so free. You are so liberated in your sexuality. You can come to the school, but I don't want my kids going to that school. This is a handout. And I'm sorry that I'm repeating. I know that I'm repeating this. I know people get irritated that I repeat things over and over again, but I'm telling you that you need to hear this, that this is on a teachers union website that teachers at the Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District say they love. This is a handout that's going to and saying, sexting, using a phone to text sexy conversations or images. They are This is part of their cookbook. That's okay. They're encouraging it. Ingredients of this: phone, sexy vocabulary, winky faces, emoticons in general, privacy if wanted, a shit ton of consent. Sure, Sally. Sure, Sally, I love you. I'm a 13-year-old boy right now. I love you, and I will never. You have my consent to send me a picture of you naked in the bathroom. You have my consent. That was a shit ton of consent. Are these people crazy? Here's the dialogue. I'm so sorry. I'm just so freaking beside myself right now. For person one, hey babe. Person two, hey, I can't wait to see you tonight. Person one, can't wait to see you. What part of me? Person two, I can't wait to see you, your sexiness, and kiss your neck. Person one, that sounds nice. I really like it when you kiss my neck. That's how you get things started. And then here you go. Here, what is this thing? I forget what the second column is. I just think that's more of the recipe. Oh, yeah, it is. I bet you look super sexy in that outfit. I'd really like to see it. Notes: can be super fun foreplay. Child: can be short or can be spaced out throughout the day for many days. Many pictures of, in other words, a lot of pictures. Steps: get consent from all parties. Make sure you have the right number. Why? Because you might text your dad a picture of your nude body. Start sexting. No, don't think about it. Don't consider the ramifications of sexting. It doesn't say anything about being careful. It says be creative and start sexting. Do you understand, or do you fully understand what I'm telling you right now? This is coming from, this is coming from a teacher's website, teachers union website. This is being given to teachers to give to you that are watching your child. It says nothing about being careful. It says get consent. That's not being careful. It's saying be sexy. It says start texting or sexting. Start sexting. Not question yourself as to why you are sexting. Stop sexting. Do not sext. Caution. No. The teachers union, Karen Freeman, Carrie Buck, the APLE want you to start sexting, child. This is what they want. And you are thinking about voting for them. Mike says, you are not off the rails, Andy. Thank you. I feel like I'm off the rails. I feel like I've lost my ever-loving mind because I think I'm in another world. I think I've got, when did this become okay? That a teacher is giving, this is a teacher's handout to children. Mariama saying, we are in shock. Where's this happening? It's in the teachers union, Mariama. It's in the teachers union that is beloved by our teachers. And these are the handouts they're encouraging. I'm clicking on the teachers union. That again, and I'm just going to go back to this, Mariama, and I'm sure that you saw it. I just want to bring it back up again. Hold on. I just want to bring it back up again. There we go. Too many things I'm clicking on here. This is the National Education Association. This is teachers union. This is on their website. It then goes to this area here, which is the NEA, Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, Queer Caucus, which is giving you all the resources here for the teachers to go to find the flyers and things that they can do. And then it shows them that they need to act like, organized like sex workers, teachers. And this is a book that they say that you need, as a teacher, need to follow. As a sex worker, have long existed in legal gray areas, figuring out how to make a living, stay safe, and avoid liability wherever possible. In other words, live in the darkness, to hand out flyers to children that are like this one, which talks to them and encourages to be sexting. That's how we get there, Mariama. This is happening everywhere in the country. This is happening very strongly in the state of California. This is happening in the Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District. It's happening in the Costa Mesa, where you live, school districts. It's happening in the Orange Unified School District. It's happening in the Fullerton, whatever their unified school district is, Union something, I forget what it's called. In the Brea Linda Unified School District. This is happening in all the school unions. That's where it's happening. Let's go on. I'm not done. Oh, I know you thought I was done. Should I put up the disclaimer one more time just in case, because people are joining? Caution, I'm simply stating a reading from documents in the teachers union's website that they give you to hand out, to give teachers to hand out to their children. But I need to give you this caution that explicit sexual content will be discussed. Parents use discretion when playing this video and or audio of what it is that I'm reading to you. So let's go back. We're not done. Fingering. Encouraging boys to finger their girlfriends or their boyfriends. I don't care what it is, or boy or girlfriends fingering their girlfriends. You can, it serves one or more. So I guess they're encouraging them to do it to themselves. So of course, fingers, gloves, lube, and this goes in the anus or the vagina, in the front hole, and again, a shit ton of consent. Substitutions for this are a masturbation, outer course. Outer course, is that humping or something? I don't know. Oral sex, of course, they have to throw in. You need to have oral sex toys, and penis. So it's just when you understand, just understanding what sex toys are. It could be this can, it could be a brush, it could be what you would ever buy at a sex store. And who are they? Are they allowed to go in a sex store? I don't think so. I think they have to be 18 to go in a sex store. So they're taking their parents, or the teachers are maybe giving it to them. Who knows? Or they may be saying, you know what? You can't go into a sex store because why? Because you're not an adult. So instead, find something else in the house that will fit inside your anus or your vagina to give to your boyfriend so they can do this to you. Get consent, get comfortable, communicate about what feels good and doesn't, warm up the area, insert finger or fingers, and move in or out. Communicate about what's time. And I'm not done. You want more? Muffing. This is new to me. I'm not sure what this is. It is, as it says here, using fingers or other objects to stimulate a trans woman. We run across that every day. Or MAB, male assigned at birth. Who knew what a MAB was? Anybody? Raise your hand if you knew what a MAB was. I didn't until I read this, but teachers know, and our children know, because teachers give this handout to our children. A person internally through the inguinal canals. All right, Hedy is not here. I'm pretty sure because her dad was a doctor, and I'm pretty sure she knows what an inguinal gland is. I don't know what that is. Can somebody in the chat tell me? I have no idea, and I'm not kidding you. I don't know what an inguinal, if I'm saying that right, a canal, not gland. Inguinal canal. What is that? What is that? I didn't know I had an inguinal canal, or do I? Oh, I must, because it's a male assigned at birth. I'm a male assigned at birth. Substitutions are anal. So it's not the anus. What is the? I don't know what this is. Inguinal glands are located in any body. Any body. They're diagonal oriented tubes running in the groin. What? What are you talking about? You can't see them. So how can you put anything in there? Often used when tucking. Okay, I am completely lost. I am completely lost. And I have been to school. I've been to school for this because I was a sex crimes detective. I may have missed that day. Did you know? Comment. How many of you know what I'm just coming across for the first time. How many of you knew what that thing was? I can't say it. Not because I can't. I've said it 3 times. I don't know. I can't pronounce it. Why? Why? I'm asking you why. Somebody please tell me why. I don't understand. Get consent for this unequal. Is it on the face? Where is it? I don't know. If you can't see it, I'm so confused. Start slowly, maybe with the pinky finger. The canals can be tight. Orale. I'm sorry. I know it's true that scrolling is probably making you seasick. Outer course. Oh, here. I now want to know what outer course was. Okay. Outer course is touching, fondling, rubbing another person's body to give or receive pleasure. Okay. Also known as grinding. Oh, heavy petting. Okay. I know what that is now. Imagination, bodies, a shit ton of consent. Always the shit ton of consent. Always have to go with the shit. Known as sexual activity without oral or penetrative sex. Known as sexual activity without oral or penetrative. Okay, got it. All right. I think we pretty much, so they're encouraging that. Optional, porn or erotica. So they're encouraging porn. So now teachers are encouraging porn, because right here where it says optional, go to porn, child. Even though your parents say avoid the porn, the teachers are saying go to porn. That is great. This is fantastic. Thanks, Carrie Buck and Karen Freeman, who the teachers, a certain number of teachers support. Not all teachers, of course. Fisting. So here we go. Fisting, extremely dangerous. I learned this in sex crimes. I've never participated. Obviously, either way, it's extremely dangerous. Fire paramedics will tell you this is extremely dangerous. Some of the stories you can, if you ask a fireman, hey, can you tell us some of the exploits that you've had? Well, we've gone to homes and we found cell phones inside the anuses. We've and during a fisting play where they will leave it behind when they have it in their hand. Large toys or rubber toys that are in the shape of a fist, to anything that, because fisting becomes so pervasive in some people's sexual activities that they will now have to find a replacement for those fists. Yes, two fists sometimes are used, that it becomes an extremely dangerous practice. And I don't understand a lot of this, and I don't particularly understand why it is teachers in these schools, encouraged again by Karen Freeman and Carrie Buck, are saying that fisting is something that our children need to be taught. Because adults not only die from it, but if they don't die from it, they can become extremely harmed in an extreme way that causes lifelong issues that no one wants to deal with. No one. But here, again, you have a teachers union who says, you know what? It's okay. We're going to tell kids how to fist. Putting a fist or whole hand into a person's vagina or bum. Lots and lots of lube and clear communication. It's important to start off slow, and then it ends suddenly. Where are the steps? Where's the prep time? What happened? I don't know. Here's a video for heavy pettings, fisting. Check out the video. I can't click on it here. Can't click on it. And I probably don't want to. People. Marianne, we are in, oh, sorry, you already got that one. Wait, got here late. Is this being discussed at PYL? Carrie, it is the teachers unions. This is off the teachers union website. I will hear it very quickly. So the CTA, no, hold on. The National Education Association. Okay, that is the National Teachers Union, has a website, NEA, lesbian, this is the NEA, so there's no question that the NEA is a part of this website. NEA, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer caucus. That document you just saw came from this website, where teachers are encouraged to be like prostitutes. It says here on this one, organized like a prostitute, like a sex worker in the darkness, to teach children about sex. So the NEA has a website that teaches teachers how to act as prostitutes in the darkness, to teach children about these things. And this is a cookbook for sexual proclivity, I guess. I don't know other way to say it. How to have sex in all these different ways. The sexual website here is supported by CTA, which is the California Teachers Association, which is supported by Apple, the Association of Placentia Linda Educators, which is the Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District Union. Do you see all the connect? It's very clearly written out. This is nothing like I'm trying to create a connection. They are connected. They love each other. They go to the seminars and the conferences and the whatever else on how to do these things gladly, and they talk about it at the Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District. I went to the NEA, I went to the CTA, I went to these places to learn how to bring these things to your children, Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District parents. And here is the documentation that's coming from that website. These same people are endorsing Karen Freeman and Carrie Buck, and Carrie Buck and Karen Freeman love the teachers unions because they are sending out letters through the APLE to every teacher in the Placentia Yorba Linda School District saying, get these people elected. because we are all one. There's no disconnection. I am not being hyperbolic. I am not creating anything out of nothing. I am telling you that these two candidates who have been in our school district for 30, 20, whatever it is, years, 40 years, who knows how long, way too long, are the reason why parents are so angry in the school district as to why our children are not being educated. They claim education is sex and LGBTQ and CRT, I almost forgot that, CRT and DEI. Nonsense. That to them, that is education. Parents, on the other hand, Todd Frazier, on the other hand, Rich Engel, on the other hand, say education is teaching kids how to read, write, count, and think. Play sports and have fun. Understand that you are going to be going to school with other races and other religious takes on God or lack of God or no God. And let's do it and love each other and let's enjoy being educated and having fun. See, those are two extremely different types of education. Education that Carrie Buck and Karen Freeman, indoctrination in all these horrible areas that have no place in our schools, that go against parenting, that believe that parents are racist, that think parents are terrorists, that think parents are homophobic. That is Carrie Buck and Karen Freeman. Todd Frazier, Rich Engel, Leandra Blades, Sean Youngblood, Andy Falco Jimenez, who's not on the school board, is wanting to bring our schools here at Placentia Yorba Linda School District, Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District, back to education of reading, writing, counting, how to think, having fun in sports, teamwork, camaraderie with people that don't look like you, with people that don't believe in the same God or no God at all, holding hands in a huddle, saluting the flag, praising our country, understanding that the United States of America is the least racist country on the planet, the most giving country on the planet, who still has unique issues and global issues in regard to not understanding that we have some things we need to work through. Those are two extremely different parts of our community. I truly believe the people that support Karen Freeman and Carrie Buck are few and far between. There are very few teachers, I believe, that want these things taught to our kids. I believe that there are far more teachers that are part of this teachers union who hate this stuff, who simply are in it because, again, they felt like they had to, or there are some benefits, or if they didn't, they'd be ridiculed. They would be ostracized. They would be called horrible, nasty names, and they have a little bit of a weakness in their character that bothers them. It doesn't bother many of us. I don't think it should bother you. But if you have that weakness, which is fine, you still need to not vote for them, Karen Freeman and Carrie Buck. And you need to tell other teachers not to do it. You need to tell them to ignore this ridiculous letter that you got from the APLE. Again, Todd Frazier and Rich Engel do not have the ability to send a mass mailer to every member of the teachers union. They don't have that ability. But the PYL district superintendents, they allow it. They think it's okay. They think it's okay that the APLE has a desk inside the school board meeting to show that they are bound, that they are one. No, I want nothing to do with the LPLE. I would wish, and I would pray that at some point the teachers that my kids are being taught by are not a part of the APLE or any teachers union other than those that do not push indoctrination. So Carrie, sorry, your question brought up all that, but that's how I feel. Charmaine says, can you give the exact link of what you are sharing? Yes, it's in the description. It's in, just scroll down if you're watching this on Facebook, scroll down or up. I don't know which direction. Sometimes it's the other direction. The link is in there. You can go to, I put most of the links, other links are not in there, but you just have to go through the website. You have no problem. I found it very easily going through the website, clicking on the links and looking, whoa. Wait, what? Wait 1 minute. I don't know what this thing is. I don't know whatever it was that I was reading. What the heck is that? I'm sorry, I'm going to go over it one time because it's just so incredible. What is that thing? Oh, I must have gotten rid of it. I did. Oh, no, it is Ling. What is this thing? What is it called again? Somebody know? Nobody's been able to give me a definition yet because I'm going to put up with some of you who are joining a little bit late. Outer course, fisting. Oh, shoot. Where is it? I keep going past it. Apparently, muffing, fingering, sexting. Yeah, let's tell all our kids the sext. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Rimming, bondage, anal sex. Oh my gosh, I don't know how now it's gone. Did they take it off? These things, that's the reason I did the show so quickly after finding it, is because you don't know how quickly these things can be taken down once they see, well, maybe we did make a mistake in going too far with this type of thing. Oh my gosh. Well, now I can't find it. Sorry, it's on there somewhere. But the links are in the description. Hopefully you did find them. Mike just looked up muffing. Wish I hadn't. Absolutely. Mariama, we have our heads in the sand. Thank you for sharing this. And I'm sorry, Mariama, you are too much of an amazing woman to be hearing, and many of the other women here. You guys should not be hearing this stuff. These are things that men should be protecting girls and women against. But we have male teachers. We have males, I'm sure, in these teachers' unions and it's shocking that these are mostly pushed by women. Every time I see one of these things, I see women promoting this. What woman is promoting that their young girls should be getting naked pictures of little boys' penises sent to them in a text message? What woman is promoting that? What woman is promoting that their daughter be fisted? I don't understand, but the majority of people that you find on these teachers' unions websites are women. But there are some men. The men should be saying, no, my job is to protect women from this thing. My job, Mariama, and Hedy, if she's watching, and Carrie, is to protect you from these things. Which maybe that's why I feel so strongly about it. And not only are we supposed to protect our children from these things, but we should all be protecting our women from these things. That is our job. That is our responsibility. Say, no, women, you should not be subjected to sexting. No, you should not be subjected to being hung by handcuffs, especially as a child. I don't know how we have gone so. This is not a religious thing. This is just common decency and common sense that this is being presented and handed out to our children at school. It is just such nonsense. And of course I want to use stronger language. And you know that I'm holding back. That what you see now is a tampered down. I'm very calm compared to what is going on inside my head and inside my body right now. Is that this is completely crazy. How can we share this? You just hit the share button down there. You just hit the share button and share it out. An hour and 18 minutes I've been on. I am so sorry. I tell you, I promise you, I go on with every intention of being brief, but some of this just takes time. But yes, Miriam, you can share this by clicking on a link. It'll say share, and then sometimes you can copy the link and then share it out in the text message to people. Again, I am on not only my personal page, but on Vote, PYL Vote, which is a page you can go to, the California Parent Alliance. You can go to that page and share it. You can go to my YouTube channel, which is theandyfalcoshow.com. theandyfalcoshow.com. Go there. I'm on Twitter broadcasting live right now. So you're watching this on Twitter, and Rumble I'm live right now. And so you can go on any one of those platforms and share it live. Charmaine, are you saying the sex recipes are published by the NEA? Yes, absolutely. You want me to show you how I got there? I can show you how I got there. Let's do that. Hopefully I can remember. I am so sorry, but I've been yelling in my voices. Okay, so here's the NEA. Oh, sorry. It helps if you can see. So here's the NEA website. Now, I'm not sure how I didn't find it from this website, but I'm sure there is a way. Let me just look briefly if it's possible. let's click on politics and campaigns. Maybe racial and social justice. Yeah, that's on the NEA. And here's all the banned books and a whole bunch of nonsense. This is just on their website. It is possible. Gag orders about books. This is crazy. Educators fight back against gag orders again. So with the gag order or the books that are banned, they're not banned. They're I guess you could say they're banned from schools. But yes, we are banning Hustler from elementary schools. Yes, we are banning the 10 most favorite sexual positions from elementary schools. Yes. Let me just click on this and see if it will take you there. You gotta, these are just the ways that some of the things you have to go through. But this is a standalone website. So let me go to the standalone website, which is this one here. This is a standalone website, which is, again, linked in the description of this particular video that you're watching. And it says there, NEA- here in the address bar at the top. I don't know if you can see it or not. You probably can't. Well, you may be. It says NEA-LGBTQC, I don't know what the C is, .org. And then /I'm here.html. Now, I'm sure if you let me just erase this part. I'm going to erase and I'm just testing this to make sure that it goes the right, it goes to welcome. So if you just go to NEA-LGBTQC.org, NEA-LGBTQC.org, it'll take you to this website. And again, it's NEA, National Educators Association. And here you go, welcome. Right? And then if you go to resources, it will go to book list. So here's how you find the first book. Let's see. American Library Association Rainbow Book List. I think that's where I went first. Let's see. I just was clicking on the first links that I could. No. Gender Spectrum Book List. Wow, there's more. I didn't check on all these other ones. Boy with Pink Hair, Cinder EDNA, or Edna, The Courage of the Blue Boy. I don't know what any of these things are, but they can't be good. Those are the ones I'm sure that they're saying that we're banning. Gay Straight Alliance. Maybe that's it. Wow, there's all kinds of websites. Anyway, there's so many links, I'm even having trouble finding them myself. Oh, here you go. Bank Street Library, LGBTQ books for children. That's where I went. It's all coming back to me now. Pretty sure. Oh, come on. Give me that site. I am telling you that it's easy. So book list. Here. I'm gonna keep clicking here until I find it. And I know this can be boring, and I am sorry. And look at, they're blocking all these things now. Now they don't have them available. Maybe that's possible. Oh, here it is, right at the top. Here's the book list, one of the book lists that you go to find some of these books. And that was the download. Wow, why can't I find it now? This was not advertised. This was shown on Tucker Carlson last night. And so quite possibly due to the national attention, it is quite possible, and now I think I've clicked on all these, that they may have taken some of these things off. I'm going to go to resources. This may be different. Yeah, this what I'm clicking on is all NEA. So you can even see the things that I'm clicking on are still quite alarming as to how much they want to push things. That it is a major part of what this is. All the NEA website for sure. And I'm telling you, there was no way that I came across that website without actually finding it on their website. These are clearly things that I found. And this one right here was one of the books that they recommended. And I may have cut and pasted the name of the book, Scarletine. and sex ed. So let's go back just a little bit because I know why, and it's all coming back to me now. Remember, in my, when you're really heated, and you are, just clicking on things, you tend to forget what it is that you were clicking on and how you got to certain places. It unfortunately happens to me from time to time. But I found that book through the sex education and events, governance. So they have a lot of events. They have a conference coming, LGBTQ conference, which I'm sure Karen Freeman and Carrie Buck will go to. And sorry, folks, this is maybe taking a little bit longer than you care to be a part of. But now I can't find the sex education recommendations that they had. I'm here. Maybe that was better. Because there was certainly a whole bunch of resources that you could go to about sex education. And when you clicked on it, it gave you all the suggested new links. I hear Hetty outside. She's probably going, Andy's too loud. I can't be on a phone call because he's all riled up. Wow, something changed. Absolutely, something changed on this website from what it was before. Oh, here we go. Wow, that took a little clicking to go to. Here we go. So here on the right, sex education. Sorry about that, folks. I know I lost a few of you, so I apologize. But here's the sex education here on the right. And click on that. And here are the list of things that I was able to find. And let's see what it takes you through. It takes you a bunch of stuff on there. It takes you to the books that they recommend, the resources, educator. Here we go. Educator's Guide to Implementing LGBTQ Inclusive Sex Ed. This is from the University of Vermont. This is again, it's giving you a redirection here. So it's giving, a ton of resources that will take you to places that will encourage. How can you not be encouraged? If you are a teacher and you're thinking, this is what I have to learn, sex ed for the real words. Here it is, Scarlet Teen. I'm finally, there we go. Thank goodness. I thought I was losing my mind. But here we go. It took a second to get there, but if you click on the things that you are trying to find, whether it's sex education or book recommendations, here is in the sex education. And here is the books. Here's that book that I'm showing you there, Eating Disorders in Pregnancy, on menstruation education and activism, an interview with Sonia, whoever she is, and then sex education histories and a whole bunch of other stuff, other bunch of resources. So here again is where I clicked on the book that takes you how to teach sex education like a prostitute, so that the parents don't know what it is you're doing. And here's the whole article on that particular thing. Wow. And then how I found, let's see if I can do this in a quick manner. Probably not, but how I found the sex education pamphlet for the fisting and all that was also on here. Sex education, HR queering, sex education, exclusive, sex education, works in youth. It was on this page somewhere. Guide to implementing exclusive sex health education. Yeah, it's good. I didn't have time to leave this site slate. You can quickly leave this site pressing. What does that mean? Oh, because it's unsafe stuff. What else would that mean? But on here is one of the places that I found that that PDF. So to answer your question, Charmaine, I hope that wasn't that clear, but you see that there's so many links. There's so many resources, they call resources, to be able to teach children this nonsense. Everything that I showed you is found on is directly found from the Teachers Union website that the CTA supports, the APLE supports, the Karen Freeman and Carrie Buck support, and back and forth. They are intertwined. They are one. And so if you want this in our school, if we didn't have Leandra and Sean Blades on the school board, this is the direction the schools are going into. I promise you that. This is not, again, I'm just going to go through, it's not hyperbolic. It's not religious. It's not faith craziness. It's not Bible thumping. This is common sense parenting saying, just on the sexting alone, that these are the things that the direction that many schools, because they don't have parents that are fighting back there. They don't have parents that are paying attention. They have parents that maybe think, well, they're doing the right thing and they're coming home and they seem okay, but they're being taught to hide it from you. Your students and your children are being taught to hide it from you, parents. That's why they're not telling you. They're being told that parents are crazy, that parents think this stuff is stupid, that this stuff is wrong. It is. Our kids don't know enough in elementary school, junior high, and high school. They don't know enough to know that it's harmful. They don't know that sticking 2 fists in a vagina, sticking 2 fists in the anal cavity is dangerous. Teachers are telling them that it's fun. They're telling them to sext. Without parent awareness, without the parents that come to the school board, without the parents that are on the school board, like Leandra Blades and Sean Youngblood, this would be happening in the Placentia Yorba Linda School District more than it currently is, and it is. If you keep Karen Freeman and Carrie Buck on the school board, we will continue to be fighting against a national teachers union. The Sacramento politicians that are creating laws that are allowing teachers to teach children these things and making it law that they have to tell children that they do not need to tell their parents, that they will show them how to get an abortion without their parents' knowledge, that they will show them how to have gender altering procedures, and they do not have to tell their parents. It is a law in California. Why do we have these things? Because parents aren't paying attention, parents aren't speaking out, teachers that do not want to do this are not speaking out. We are allowing teachers unions to push these things into our schools via people like Karen Freeman and Carrie Buck, who need to be voted out. We want to make the Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District different, a different public school that teaches, yes, maybe this is radical. Maybe this is radical. We don't want our children being taught how to double fist in elementary school and junior high. We don't want our children to be taught and told that they must sext their boyfriend or girlfriend, or just another boy or just another girl with their consent. We do want our children to be taught how to read. We do want our children to be taught how to write. We want our children to be told how to count. And we want our children to be told how to think critically. And we do not want our children to be indoctrinated with stupidity. That may be radical today. But this is what we want our children to be taught in our schools here at Placentia Yorba Linda School District. And if you want your children to be taught how to sext, then you vote for Karen Freeman and Carrie Buck. If you want them to be taught how to put handcuffs on your daughter in your bedroom when you're not at home, on your bed frame, or in your car steering wheel when they borrow your car, not elementary school, but in high school. If you want teachers teaching your child or telling your daughter how to submit to a boy, to participate in bondage, to participate in sadomasochism, or that other thing that I can't find. I don't know how that happened, how it was once on the PDF and now it's not, because they're hiding it, because people are aware of it. But remember, they want to teach teachers how to live as prostitutes, how to teach like prostitutes in the darkness, to avoid the legalities, to avoid being scrutinized by parents, being scrutinized by people who care. If that's what you want for your child, whether it's a boy or a girl, that they're taught these things, that they're taught how to sext. I go to that more often because that is such a launching point of something that your children will not possibly be able to recover from. In that PDF that's being handed out to children in schools, they're being told to begin by simply sexting. That will lead to bondage, that will lead to pregnancy, that will lead to harmful sex acts that will disfigure them and possibly kill them. Talk about a gateway drug. You know, back in the days, we used to laugh at marijuana being a gateway drug. Do we see that the problems of now maybe the legalization of narcotics that I did not even anticipate as a law enforcement officer? That I thought, marijuana, not that big of a deal. That, letting this little bit of a liberal thing, letting a liberal, have this thing in the schools, it's not something I agree with, but you know what? It's not that big of a deal. You know what? They want to teach our kids just to sext. You know what? I don't agree with it. I'll teach my kid not to do it. But, we could fight about a lot of things, but let's just let that little thing in. I get talked about a lot about having some hard lines on things and about never letting up. I'm pretty strong on some things with my kids and have some things that I think are important that no matter how many times it happens, if I see it, I will try to stop it, or I will, there'll be some consequence to them doing that. That maybe, is there no time that you just let it go by? No. That's how I am. You may not agree with that. And that is so fine. That is so fine. But allowing any of these things in, no matter what seems to be minute. Now, sexting to me is not minute. It is a gigantic thing. But some people will say, you know what, kids are going to be kids. No. Do you see the door that is opened up by sexting? Do you not see that? Because it won't stop at that. Do we know that the possibility of them doing it is high? Yes, but we don't need a teacher, which once used to be, no longer, is a trusted adult you go to with a question about something like, hey, should I sex today? Because you know what they're going to say? They're going to say yes. As a matter of fact, I encourage it. Here's a flyer. Here's a flyer that will show you the do's and the don'ts. A shitload of what does it say? Shitload of consent. Okay, got that. He said, yes, I want to see a naked picture of you. What? You got to be kidding me. I see people popping on and popping, and I know this is not easy to hear, and it's me going on a rant. I know, I'm fully aware. And I know that I've gone on for a very long time, an hour and a half. But it is so important. This is nothing that you can just go, you know what, there he is again talking about stuff that I really don't care about. Kids are going to go on TikTok. They're going to go on Instagram. They're going to, go to YouPorn, or what are some of the other ones, some porn.com, whatever they are. And they're going to go there. They go there. We have, as parents, an obligation to keep them from going there. That's our job. But I remind you, I'm not sending my kid to school to learn from a teacher how to go around those things or to participate in those things with the teacher encouraging it. Then taking it a step further, encouraging them how to do what it is they are watching. How to engage in sexual acts that will cause them long-term harm and sometimes death. No. Thank you, Mariama. And thank you for watching. And everybody, wherever you're watching this, need to understand what the teachers unions are doing. It's easy. Mariam, you ask, is there teachers, how many teachers are in the teachers union? Like in Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District, if we're to believe that one teacher, she said 92%. That's 92% too many. 92% too many. All right, my friends. Thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with me. I saw this, went on it, started clicking through. You do the same thing. You do the same thing. Don't just take my word for it. But and then because much of us as adults have been taught how to critically think through this. Look at the connections between the two candidates that we have, maybe candidates you have at your school district, and how it is that they are possibly supported by the teachers union. That's only one connection you need to make, and it's good enough for me. But there's deeper connections, money involved. Follow the money. So go through those. And the links, even the opt-out, there's an opt-out link for you to opt out of the school, the teachers union. It's in the description too. If you're a teacher watching this and you have been moved by what I showed you and what I talked about, you can opt out of the teachers union. You don't have to be a member of the teachers union. Who cares what they say? Who cares how they try to diminish you as a person? I don't care. I could care less, or else I wouldn't be on doing what I did today. All right, my friends, it's all on there. Click the links, check around, and God bless America. We love you. Take care. Bye.